You can already hear the noise. It is on fire.
Residents of the Smolensk region heard the alarm on the night of April 24th. A series of explosions were heard for an hour in the area of the villages of Razdorovo and Yartsevo, 10 kilometers from Smolensk. The oil depot began to burn.
There were 2 explosions. There's a big fire.
This is far from the first oil storage facility that has burnt in the Smolensk region over the past week. On April the 20th, a fire occurred at an oil depot owned by the Lukoil company. It is located 300 kilometers from the border with Ukraine. That night, drone attacks were reported in different regions of Russia. UAV attacks and recent floods in Russia have reduced weekly Russian oil processing to an 11-month low, a report from the Institute for the Study of War noted.
Decreased Russian refining capacity likely forced Russia to import gasoline from Kazakhstan and Belarus in early April to address shortages and attempt to prevent domestic gasoline prices from rising, although there are no indications that constraints on Russian gasoline production are significant to international market values. From the report by the Institute for the Study of War.
Over the past month, drones have attacked 12 Russian oil refineries. On March 1st, Russia officially completely stopped petroleum exports due to fuel shortages. Russian officials know that the reduction in primary oil refining in 2024 will lead to an increase in Russian crude oil exports, since Russia will not be able to refine as much as it usually does.
Russia has already lost 28 million tons of processing capacity, considering that the Russian Federation processes 280 million tons of crude oil per year. This is the same 10%.
In 2024, Russia expected to sell oil for $71 per barrel and now for $65. The Russian Ministry of Economic Development has worsened its forecast for the export price of Russian oil for 2024-2027. Oil exports are one of the main sources of financing the Russian budget and Russia's war against Ukraine.
Цены на нефтяное сырье будут не расти, а будут наоборот.
Prices for crude oil will not rise, but will decline, as more oil will be available to consumers in the world. As for Russian consumers, they will lose at least 17 million tons of petroleum.
Russia will supply gas to China 28% cheaper than to European consumers, at least until 2027. Bloomberg writes about this with reference to the forecast of the Russian Ministry of Economic Development. In 2024, Russian gas will be exported to China at a price of $257 per 1,000 cubic meters. Europe will buy Russian fuel at $320 per 1,000 cubic meters. Reported by Diana Kolesnik, Victoria Smirnova, UATV News.